why are these new charges getting added? Is this just the product of them like speaking to more informants and
Well, see,
shit?
y'all gotta understand. You got charges, and you got overt acts. Overt acts is just like they talking about your character. They're trying to establish you're capable of this shit.
Right.
They were trying to do. But the funny part about it is, I made it clear that Big U stayed back. So what you talking about? He stayed back. Now we.
There you go. So you can get a sense of just trying to say, oh, they just overt acts.
Well, I'm gonna say this. When he told the story, he did say, Vic, you stayed back, and he quote unquote chased. But then he went from chase to, no, he didn't, he wasn't running, he was trotting. Yeah. Right? And then I guess, I'm just, all right, if you pressing somebody for some money, whether it come directly from him, it get to where it's supposed to go, you still extorting the person, right?
100%.
Okay, and then I lost my thought on the third one, but yeah, this dude crazy.
But on your first point, if Big U stayed back, that means Cash Jones was doing all the intimidating. So he was the primary. He's the primary suspect in that incident.
And he put it out there, and it's a paper. He just put it out there. He didn't send a wire. I know who sent the wire. And then you said Birdman name already. You know what I'm saying? So now it sounds like Birdman and got at you and said, keep my name up out of that. Because all of a sudden you saying, I know who sent it. You're not trying to say it. You already said it 5 times on the internet, though.
Yeah, it's too late. He's trying to protect his name now.
Right.
In this interview, but you've already said it
5 times.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play the clip right now of him saying.
Chat, we about to get into it. He about to play the clip. Hold on.
On speaker. All I hear is Stunner voice. He say, Wack, it's me, Stunner. Talk to me. I say, Stunner, I'm busy right now. He said, yeah, but I don't want you to be, nephew. What the going on? I say, oh, trick a bag, my. He can't be in our backyard and he owe bro a bag. Either he gonna pay or he finna get fucked up and then he gonna pay. Right? Trick at home sleep. He don't know what's going on. He in Detroit. Right? He say, Wack, my word to you, I pay the debt. Let him be. I got business with that man. I said, what? He said, Wack, this Stunner talking to you as your brother. Leave him be. You got my word, whatever the debt is. Send me trick shit. I pay him in the morning. On me. I'm giving you my word. I threw the back the phone and walked away.
So there you go.
Right. He name dropped everybody.
So that, hey, is that an indication that he's scared of Birdman?
Yeah.
He's slightly intimidated by Birdman?
I believe so.
Because
New Orleans cats kind of different.
And New Orleans will send somebody over here.
Yeah. You know, and Birdman got reach, man. So not saying that Birdman want to hurt anybody.
For sure.
Not saying that, but you know, I believe he put some respect on his name.
There might be some Birdman fanatics right here in our town that's already trying to mount up without even Birdman saying a word. But a second thing I wanted to say, and that is he always tries to say this, you weren't around. You weren't around Munchie.B. You was only 10 years old in 2010, you know?
Right.
Like, you can't talk about something. Hey, I talk about things that happened before I was even born.
You know why? Because it's called history.
Yeah, it's history.
You can always go back in time and go over history. You know what I mean? So, you know.
No, that's his reverse psychology tactic that I hope people ain't falling for.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't around in 20 whatever. I can't speak on it.
He need to change up his scripts.
No, it is.
He's real predictable and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But I want to say I believe overt acts are more serious than what he's suggesting that they are. So what I want to do is I wanted to call up an attorney that I know very well named Gabriel Chavez, who has defended dozens and dozens of high-profile cases here in Los Angeles, and he's got direct experience with the feds as well, and get a sense of what is actually an overt act.
Okay.
So let's get him on the phone right now. Is this attorney Gabriel Chavez on the phone?
This is attorney Gabriel Chavez. However, I must inform you that my license is currently suspended. So
But that's only a
at this
temporary
time,
thing. That's only a
it
temporary
is,
thing.
it
Yeah.
is, it is. But
Yeah.
I can't give legal advice.
No, no, no. We don't want to ask for any legal advice. We just want to get your opinion on this. A high profile Crip from Los Angeles was indicted last year, and then they just hit him with another indictment. And in most of these indictments, they just list a variety of things called overt acts. And I just wanted
Correct.
my audience to get a better understanding of what is an overt act. And I figured you'd be one of the perfect persons to explain what an overt act actually is.
Sure. So basically, an overt act is any action that could be legal or illegal taken to further a crime, or what they usually say as in furtherance of a crime. So it's just more than thinking, it's more than planning. It has to be an observable act. And the ultimate goal is to complete the crime, although it doesn't have to be completed.
Okay. Now, in this particular indictment, I was looking over, let's say, overt acts 36, 37, and 38. It's about a conspiracy to extort a famous rapper named Future. But when you look at the actual charges that Mr. Henley, Big U, is facing, that's not a charge, you know? So how do these things work together? The separate charges and then these overt acts.
Okay, so you have what's called the RICO conspiracy charge, which is basically an agreement amongst members of an enterprise. I believe in this particular case, the enterprise consists of several of Mr. Henley's associates, friends, and maybe some gang members. I'm not certain on that, but basically, you have a enterprise group of individuals is what it is with a common goal. Typically, that goal could be to enrich one another, meaning profit financially. And that could be to elevate the members' status within a certain group, a certain organization, a certain culture, if we want to talk about maybe gang members. And so you have that enterprise that agrees to conspire uh, in order to achieve a goal or certain goals. And let me give you another example. As you're aware, you know, LA County Jail gets a lot of attention from the feds. And, you know, one of the things they love to do is charge alleged prison gang members with RICO conspiracy. And, you know, along with that individual, several other individuals get indicted with him because the government alleges they all have a goal, and that goal is to enrich individuals financially, enrich their status, and they do that by intimidating victims or profiting from the sales of drugs or contraband, etc. So, in this particular matter, it appears that the government is alleging that Mr. Henley has engaged in a pattern of activities. They're called racketeering activities. They can include anything from murder to kidnapping, extortion, and some other behaviors in order to enrich the enterprise.
Okay. Now I'm here with my co-host Munchie.B, and he might have a couple questions. But I wanted to ask you this rapper Future, who's only identified by his initials, which gives it away who he is. Like two questions: why did the feds just put this guy's initials when it's easy to identify who he is? And second, does this mean Future spoke to the government, or they just got this story? They can get this story from another source.
I want to first address that. Yeah. So the individual that is, well, they only name his initials. Um, Whenever you see initials, the government is alleging that those individuals are victims and they're trying to protect them, even when they're deceased. I cannot give you a certain answer as to why they want to um, essentially protect that individual if they're in fact deceased. But it is a practice of the U.S. Attorney's Office to do that. And if they are in fact not deceased, that does not mean by any means that they have cooperated with the government. They're just a victim, but what if someone believes that they have cooperated and they say, hey, you know what, we got to take care of this guy. Let's go find him right now. Now, I agree with you 100%. Anybody can find out Future's name, and looking at some of these overt acts, it's not hard to put it together. And but the government, for some reason, likes to conceal the identity of victims, and they usually do that with initials.
Okay, now this is an interesting question I'm gonna ask you because it really has to do with the internet and social media. And over at Act 38, it says the defendant Henley and his co-conspirator chased Future through the airport. Now, what's crazy about this case is that the co-conspirator has told this story on the internet back in 2022. So, is it possible that the government is extracting this overt act specifically from a guy telling the story on the internet?
Absolutely. And I think an example of someone in a similar situation is Keefe D out in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not only do they have what is called an admission by this particular individual, but I would think that the government would be intelligent enough to attempt to obtain some corroborating evidence that could include footage from, Los Angeles International Airport. I imagine they have quite this video surveillance system, and it's maintained. The footage is maintained for quite some time, so I believe that might be of assistance. Hell, they might even have this particular individual's cell site location at Los Angeles International Airport on this particular date or dates. They might have the victim who is cooperating. They might have a co-defendant who was there, who is cooperating, or they might have a statement from a co-defendant because, unfortunately, when it comes to RICO conspiracies, the hearsay rule goes out the window. Basically, if a co-defendant says something about you, you don't even, I mean, it's probably going to come in. So it doesn't even have to be true. And I think that's really unfortunate because it comes in, and the only one who can really refute it is the individual who uh, the allegation is made against. And as we know, it's not the smartest thing in the world to take the stand for a number of reasons. But yeah, man, these allegations are incredibly serious and incredibly difficult to overcome because the government has such an arsenal of weapons to use in terms of evidence.
Now, the co-conspirator in overt act number 38, he's still on the internet running his mouth like nothing has ever happened, and he seems to be the one that was the aggressor in this particular act in 2014. Would you expect in the future he gets arrested?
Unfortunately, it's possible and maybe not possible. Or maybe the government has no interest in this individual. The government puts targets on certain people, and they tend to go after those individuals, whereas someone else who may have committed the same crime, may have participated, gets a pass. Those are questions that I can't answer.
But you've seen that happen before.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's people who have been active participants, people who have committed violence, and for reasons unbeknownst to me, unbeknownst to my colleagues, those people are never charged. Um, we don't know. It could be because perhaps they are cooperating, but at the same time, like I've said, there's been instances where someone is not cooperating, and we don't know in the future. This person may be charged. They may be charged in a separate um, RICO conspiracy. They could be hit with state charges. There's a number of reasons. Unfortunately, those are questions for the U.S. Attorney's Office.
All right, Munchie.B, you got any questions for Attorney Gabriel Chavez?
No, I'm good. That was really informative right there. That was cool.
All right, Mr. Gabriel Chavez, I appreciate you answering these questions about this Big U indictment, specifically the overt acts. And I guess we should tap in with you again in the near future.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Munch was uh, nice meeting you, although it's through the phone.
Yeah,
Um,
likewise.
Hopefully, one day we all get together and we can discuss some more interesting topics.
All right, thanks for tapping in.
Thanks a
Appreciate
lot.
it.
Thank you. Take care.
All right.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Hey, I asked him, can the co-conspirator also get arrested or charged? Sometimes maybe, sometimes no. Even if they committed violence, yeah, sometimes the government don't care about this person because they're after Big U.
Right.
Maybe later, maybe not later.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That was real informative though.
But yeah, I mean that's basically what Whitey Bulger was doing. They were seeing he was doing a little bit of violence on the side, but he was providing information on his competition and these other organizations that he was trying to get rid of. And at that time, it was beneficial to the government. That's why I say this guy, he's gonna meet the end of the road at some point, if it's true. But yeah, I believe a co-conspirator should be charged. But if if he's not the target of the investigation, maybe he won't be charged.
Man, he told this story so many times. And the worst version of it is he talked to Birdman. He told Birdman he owed Trick some money and he can't be in our backyard. He either go beat his ASS or he go pay and then we beat his ASS.
He say, Wack, it's me, Stunner. Talk to me. I say, Stunner, I'm busy right now. He said, yeah, but I don't want you to be, nephew. What the going on? I say, oh, Trick a bag, my. He can't be in our backyard and he owe bro a bag. Either he gonna pay or he finna get fucked up and then he gonna pay.
And I don't know, man. Seemed like you used intimidation to for monetary gain.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that documentary that they did in 2021, they did kind of touch on this topic of checking in, and I think Trick had a thing called the no-fly zone in Detroit, meaning no, don't come over here unless you know you go through the right channels,
Right.
and that's pretty much part of the government's case. It's extortion all over the first indictment and this second indictment, and it's not looking good. You heard Attorney Chavez say that the federal government has at their disposal a variety of weapons in their arsenal.
Unlimited resources.
And you heard him say they'll get around the hearsay rule.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah,
The state, you got a double hearsay rule and hearsay not admissible and superior, but the feds, they.
Now, I was just curious, like, how did this end up in the indictment? Did Future share this information with the feds? Did WACK actually physically share it with the feds, like verbally? Or did the feds just snatch this off the internet, insert it in there, and then if you heard the attorney say they like to corroborate it with some other piece of evidence if it's off the internet? Did they go to the airport and get security footage? Do you have any opinion on how this ended up in this damn indictment?
It's a couple of ways. They could have ran it back, and he said right there, well, Adam, I know who sent the wire, so they could see if it was some money sent from said person that's supposed to send it to Trick. And like he said, ran the cameras back, flight information. You know what I'm saying? Did they fly out back in 2014, the same day as Sierra and Future? Like, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of ways to corroborate it without Future even cooperating.
Yeah, there's a good chance Future has absolutely nothing with this being in this indictment.
I don't think he do.
Yeah, I was leaning that way myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't even want the mess. He don't want, this was 12 years ago. Why would he want to now volunteer all this information?
He didn't bring it up in the first place.
Never even brought it up. Never brought it up. Never went to the police that we know of. Never reported it that we know of. And now all of a sudden, It only took. I looked at when WACK 100 first said this. I went to the actual original file. It was 2022 when he told this story. So here we are in 2026, 4 years after he said it, 1 year after Big U's original indictment, or a little more than a year and a couple months. I think it was March or April when Big U was indicted last year. So it didn't take long before him running his mouth in 2022 is in the federal government's hands.
Yeah, that might have been the first time he told the story, but it wasn't the last. So he didn't said it from that time, that first time on into the present time, like repeating the story for whatever reason.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I would if I'm a friend of WACK 100, I would be nervous. All his people need to be concerned, or anyone who used to be a friend of his and that was real close, like Big U.
Shouldn't have been dealing with him.
Yeah, because if you were in his circle, you might end up getting charged and indicted, like these guys down in San Diego ended up getting charged. A whole bunch of dudes in San Diego, allegedly all from the same gang, the West Coast Crips.
I doubt they all from the same gang, but you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they probably not. But this just came out the other day. A federal grand jury indictment was unsealed charging 30 alleged West Coast Crips gang members and associates with distributing large amounts of cocaine base to customers in an open-air crack market on Imperial Ave, about a mile and a half east of Petco Park. Now, they're going to make a big deal about Petco Park because I guess Petco the park is in a nice area. It's in an exclusive area, and you got a bunch of ninjas doing their thing near Petco Park. Now, if this was like a lower income area, they wouldn't be emphasizing this. But yeah, the Petco Park gonna come up again. Remember that. In a coordinated takedown, more than 350 members of the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force gang group, plus federal, state, and local law enforcement officials, executed 21 search warrants on homes and vehicles in San Diego and arrested 28 defendants. 2 are still outstanding. They're listed as fugitives. This investigation began in 2024 and focused on the West Coast Crips gang members suspected of drug trafficking and committing acts of violence in San Diego and near the Crips-controlled outdoor drug market located on 2900 Imperial Avenue. And they got a picture. They got a big picture of Imperial Avenue, obviously from a camera mounted above, of these dudes just doing hand-to-hand transactions, cars pulling up, jumping out, leaving, and that's part of the evidence here. It says, according to court documents, the market functioned as both a retail outlet and a wholesale hub, supplying users directly while also feeding a network of low-level dealers who spread across East Village, downtown, Logan Heights, Sherman Heights, and beyond to distribute crack cocaine. I didn't even know crack cocaine was still a thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Is it still a thing worth getting federally indicted?
I didn't know.
I think this is the main drug in this indictment.
It's cracking up there in San Diego.
It definitely is, because listen to this. Investigators believe thousands of customers repeatedly purchased cocaine base at the Imperial Avenue crack market in 2025. Those customers would approach Crip members staffing the market and buy cocaine base with cash. Investigators estimated that about 20 pounds of cocaine with an estimated street value of $550,000 were sold at the Imperial Avenue crack market weekly.
Oh, they was getting some bread, man.
Weekly, bro.
Allegedly getting some bread.
Including seizures today. Including seizures, and throughout this investigation, authorities have confiscated more than 11 pounds of cocaine and $14,000 in cash currency, 2 handguns, a money counting device. According to a wiretap conversation between co-conspirators, defendants frequently sold out their inventory and would look to replenish their supply. Now, that's straight from the government's website, but I have a clip here of the local news in San Diego covering this exact story.
Dozens of alleged gang members were arrested this morning. Federal prosecutors say in a major takedown of an open-air crack market just a mile and a half east of Petco Park. NBC7's Shelby Bremer is outside the federal building downtown. Shelby, prosecutors just detailed this operation. What have you learned?
Yeah, hey, Monica. Well, 28 people were arrested, and police are still looking for 2 people that they call fugitives named in this grand jury indictment. Now, this was a collaboration of the FBI, state, and local law enforcement, and they say that this investigation began in 2024, and it focused on alleged members of the West Coast Crips.
San Diego is a paradise, but it is not a gangster's paradise.
The feds say the West Coast Crips ran an open-air drug market at 2900 Imperial Avenue, where investigators believe thousands of people repeatedly bought cocaine base in 2025, averaging 20 pounds each week, with an estimated street value of more than $500,000. Prosecutors say the market was also what they called a backdrop for violence, pointing to a drive-by shooting back in January that left 2 people injured. Authorities say they wiretapped conversations, used confidential sources, and trained a camera on the market every day for more than a year. And as part of the operation this morning, law enforcement says they confiscated 11 pounds of cocaine, $14,000 cash, and 2 handguns. The feds say at least 22 of the defendants have prior felony convictions and are now charged with conspiracy to distribute cocaine and cocaine base.
This was a bustling crack market operating with impunity and audacity, making millions of dollars a month, just a mile or 2 from Petco Park, the Gaslamp Quarter, downtown businesses, luxury condos, restaurants, hotels, you name it. It was a one-stop shop for addiction, violence, and human suffering.
Now, one of those defendants did appear in federal court this afternoon, and I had a chance to speak to some of his family members who said that they had no idea what was happening until they got a call that he had been arrested this morning. Several other defendants are expected in court tomorrow.
I think we got the point, Munchie. Who do you think was the clientele for these guys that had a hood really close to the middle class and upper middle class parts of San Diego?
I think it's that clientele is more than likely lawyers.
Yeah.
You know,
People like this people that this prosecutor probably knows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sad part about it is when you have a demand in any business, you have a demand, somebody's going to meet that supply. Someone's going to come with the supply to meet the demand. And we're mad at the young, well, actually, we'll talk about this. They're not even young, but we're mad at the brothers who met that demand. But what about the hundreds, if not thousands, of people who engage in this activity, who use the product, who are addicted to the product? Who should we be more mad at?
It sounds like they mad because of where they doing it at.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like they more mad about.
Yeah, they want them to be go to Southeast San Diego with all that BS.
Right.
Don't be over here by Petco Park.
They said luxury apartments, Petco Park, restaurants. Yeah, they upset because of where they getting their money at.
But yeah, it's just unfortunate that these guys are at the bottom of the rung when it comes to the drug distribution game, because you know, they're the street corner sellers, and they're the least connected to the drug problem.
Right.
You know, they didn't make the drug. Maybe some of them. Well, cocaine is now fairly easily makeable, but in most instances, you need cocaine. Cocaine don't grow in America. Remember we talked about where can you grow cocaine?
Yep.
It's difficult. Nobody's doing it outside of South America.
Right.
You need a special type of dirt, fertile soil. So that cocaine is coming here into America and turning it into crack. These guys are meeting a demand, and now they're going to prison.
Yeah, it sounds like they it's like open and shut, because you know once they mount them cameras up on the top of light posts and all that, they got, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they definitely had. They installed in 2024.
They watched them for a year, they said.
Yeah, they installed cameras on the block in 2024 just to watch them and everyone that was coming and going, which is pretty crazy because any police department can do this on any block, and I don't think we would know
Right.
that there's a new camera on this block.
Damn, man. These indictments is being more frequent. We didn't cover over 20 probably this year.
Yeah, and I think the majority of them were towards Latinos, but we've been getting a few against black neighborhoods now.
Mm-hmm.
And
the brother Ricos is starting to roll in.
the brother Ricos. We just talked about two of them, Big U and the West Coast Crips. Now, let me tell you something which I found very interesting. I looked at the defendants in this case, and they listed all their ages. And just while I was scrolling through, I was like, wait up. These guys are not young. There was a 70-year-old in the indictment.
Sheesh.
There were 3 people in their 60s in this indictment.
They can't even take a deal with them ages. Cause what deal could you take that makes sense at that age?
Yeah, no deal.
Sheesh.
And there was 12 people in their 50s in this indictment, and there were 5 people in their 40s.
They ain't letting the low homies get no money, huh?
These guys was greedy, huh?
Yeah.
So look, let's see. Let me add this up. 12, 17, 20, 21 of these guys were 40 and over. And let's see, 7 people were in their 30s or under. I've never seen an age distribution like this in an indictment. It's usually a bunch of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, maybe some 30s, maybe a couple 40s, but this is dominated by 40, 50, and 60-year-olds.
Let the 70-year-old go, man.
Oh man.
Let him go, man. He got like 5 more years, 10 more years on Earth, bro. Don't do him like that, man.
They don't care.
No, they don't.
They definitely don't care. Yeah, I put this in a spreadsheet, and I was shocked to see these ages. And James Wright, he's 76.
76?
Yeah. You want James Wright, free James Wright?
Let him go, man. He ain't gonna do it again.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I've never seen ages this high up in a street drug indictment. But I haven't heard of nobody getting money like this since the 80s and 90s. 500,000 a week?
No, San Diego real close to Mexico, man.
Yeah. And only 2 youngsters, to keep it real, a 19-year-old and a 25-year-old. That's it, 2 youngsters.
That's somebody's nephew.
Let's see here if anybody. Oh, Julio, check this out. Julio Rangel, and the 19-year-old is Julio Rangel Jr.
See?
He's the son of the 38-year-old. Ain't that funny? So the youngster's only on this indictment because his father's in the indictment.
Yeah, he probably low on the indictment.
And majority of these names are non-Latino. There's only like 2 or 3 Latino names on here. So not only was the brothers getting the money, they was like, nah, y'all over there ain't getting none of this money either.
Yeah, man. I want the 76-year-old, man. He give him the ankle monitor. Let him go, man.
So, yeah, if it wasn't for Julio Rangel Jr., the youngest defendant would be Elmer Salgado Pineda, 25. He's one of the few with a Latino name. He's 25 out of National City. Everyone else here is San Diego. National City is just next to San Diego. But I wonder, 25, is that a youngster to you? 25-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just 2 youngsters on this whole indictment. Never seen that before, bro. Never. I mean, usually you have the youngsters doing all the legwork outside.
And not like that, man. That's how many people on the indictment?
Out of the ones that are named here, that's 20. It looks like about 25, 26.
At least 14, 15 of them go flip and try to cooperate.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, like 14, 15 of them.
Yeah.
They too old. They like, I ain't about to die here. But they got minimums when they get to the feds, like so minimum. Like them senior citizens they're about to cooperate, bro.
James Wright is the 28th guy on the indictment as the oldest one. And there's 2 more fugitives. So basically 30 guys.
Yeah, there's about to be a lot of telling going on. It feels more youngsters than I think. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know who's doing a lot of telling right now is your boy out in Las Vegas, who's fighting for his life because he's pushing 70. He's in his 60s for sure, and he's pushing 70. And his trial's about to start any day now. And he's still trying to get evidence dismissed. And it's not working out in his favor.
He don't got a pet attorney, huh?
Well, it says here he's got a defense attorney named Michael Sanft. I'm not sure if Michael Sanft is a public defender or not, but he's trying to suppress the recordings from Davis's 2008 proffer that he gave to Greg Kading. He's trying to suppress that. And he's also trying to get his book, his 2019 book, suppressed. And the judge already ruled on this before, but they're trying it from another angle. Because they know that he's buried. Once you play that and read over his book, what's the defense? But you know what his defense is right now?
What is entertaining?
It's all lies.
Oh, okay.
It's all lies. That's his defense. You're never going to hear a guy prouder to admit he's a liar. It's all lies.
Yeah, man. We're going to see how this play out. It's going to be an interesting one. How long do you think this shot going to last?
Oh, it says here it's going to last 6 weeks. Let me play this interview I did with Greg Kading, because I specifically asked him about why would you drop the recording of the proffer, because that's pretty shady, you know. For a cop to do it, I'm like, wow, this cop is exposing Keefe D. So this is what Greg Kading had to say about that.
The question I do have about Keefe D confession is, why did it get leaked? Did you leak it? And that information being out there puts Keefe D in a very dangerous situation, something that he didn't even know he was being recorded at all the entire time. So how did it become public, this confession?
So when we sat down with Keefe D, myself, the FBI, Keefe D's lawyer, we sat down under what's known as a proffer agreement, and he divulged all of the details about what took place in Las Vegas the night Tupac was shot. At that point in time, we're just going through the investigative. We're just going through the kind of investigative process until I retired, and I came to the realization that these crimes, the public is never going to know what we did in this investigation and the information that we attained. And so I took it upon myself to say, listen, and I went and met with Keefe D before I did it, by the way. He knew that I was releasing the information. I went to his house. We sat in my truck, and I said, here's the deal. You're never going to probably get prosecuted on this, but I'm going to expose what you did. Wow. And I said, I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I'm writing a book, and I'm going to tell the story. And listen, you got a huge break on the dope case that we built against you, which was 25 to life. You're walking away on a murder.
I thought a dog was running in this motherfucker right now. I'm like, close the door, it's coming.
The truth about what you did, well, then that's just the way it's going to be.
But it should have made him it shouldn't have hurt him. And that's not the part that's hurting Keefe D's situation. It's just the fact that people know that he sat down with the police and discussed his nephew. That's what's hurting him.
Yeah, well, I think it's two things that's going to hurt Keefe D for the rest of his life. One, that he got exposed as an informant, a snitch, in some way.
Not really.
However you want.
No.
Come on, man. When you're telling the police, this person killed that person.
But see, you got to look at it like this. My nephew was...
We're about to get ready to end stream in a second, Jack.
Because he was fighting 25 to life, right? He got caught with some drugs.
Yeah.
So if I can speak on this, my nephew and them, all these cats is gone. So if I can speak on that, he used that shit as a street ticket to get out of this situation.
Completely understand.
Did that. But he didn't, what fucked him up is he didn't think that Greg was going to put it out there that you told on your nephew.
And that's my point.
Now here you got a man that made it beat a 25 to life 2 times.
I thought it was a smart move on his part because he knew that no one was going to go to jail, no one's going to prison, no one's getting indicted, and I get to go home.
Exactly.
But still, I'm talking about the way the public will perceive him.
Right.
One, you told. And two, Now we know for sure you killed him.
Chat, we at 39 minutes right now, chat. We are at 39 minutes.
When you and I speak one little negative thing about Pac, they go in on us.
They do.
Now imagine how they're feeling about Keefy D.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
so you kind of put him out there on those two things, which
I did,
which could actually get him killed if he's not careful.
Yeah, and I'm not sorry I did it. You know, he's who he is. I told him what I was going to do. His response was, "Oh, fuck it then. I'm a gangster. I'll handle that shit." That's exactly what he told me, and said, "Okay, well, that's your decision. That's your life. That's you. Go do you." I'm telling the world what the fuck happened because this story is more important than you. In fact, I think this story is more important than your life.
That's my 2020 interview with retired LAPD detective Greg Kading.
I got a couple takeaways from that, right? Where he went wrong at is after he had that sit down with the police and divulged that information, he should have went back to his community and taught them what he did. Because, I mean, couldn't nobody get in trouble for it. But since you got exposed for sitting down with them people, now is bad. Then I don't think nothing wrong with telling on the day. I done said this before. People disagree. As long as nobody could go to jail behind it, all right. Number 3, I think me and you both agree, and we said in the past, the police don't respect snitches. Yeah. They don't. And then number 4, I respect that Greg Kading told him what he was going to do before he did it. But, you know.
Well, I didn't play the entire clip of that. I later remembered, and it's in the interview, that, wait up, Terrence Brown was still alive when Keefy D gave you that proffer, wasn't he, Mr. Kading? Yeah, he was. He's the driver. They called him Bubble Up from Southside. He eventually got killed in 2015 at a weed dispensary or outside of a weed dispensary.
That's recent.
Yeah, that's pretty recent. But at the time of that proffer in 2008, he was still alive. So that could have got him in trouble.
So he is wrong.
Yeah, Munchie. I mean,
if it wasn't no surviving, no survivors that was in their car that night, then that's one thing. But since his name was T. Brown, wasn't he?
Terrence.
Yeah,
the driver.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you was dead wrong because somebody was still alive.
And if Terrence Brown didn't get murdered at that dispensary, he'd probably be sitting in the Clark County Jail right now with Keefy D. You know, and then you heard where Kading, he didn't believe that this guy would ever get charged. And most of us didn't believe he would ever get charged. We thought Clark County just said, F it, and this was 30 years ago. We're just going to leave it alone.
Okay, well, I'll take 2 of those back since Terrence was alive. It was one surviving passenger. So I'll take back, it wasn't cool to tell that to the police because you could have got somebody else in trouble. And
well, I think the way that Keefy D rationalized it was that he was fingering Orlando Anderson.
But he's the driver, though. He drove Orlando to do it, so you still putting him in jeopardy.
The driver is just a part of the conspiracy as anyone else in that car.
Right.
But, yeah, I believe that Terrence would be in jail with him right now if he was alive. I think the other guy in the back seat, he died. How did Dre die? I think he had an illness. Big Dre, that was in the back seat.
You think it's a possibility that Suge Knight get subpoenaed?
Well, if you read over the documents, they say they have a witness in the CDCR on the list, but it's right now it's redacted. They're not saying.
I got an idea who it may be. I don't know if I'll be wrong to say the person's name.
Hey,
but I'm gonna just say this: Spider Loc speak of this dude a lot.
Well, in that video I just played, part of the B-roll was a photo of Orlando Anderson and a guy named Mr. Duro.
And Mr. Duro, gang name is what? Owl?
Is it Lil Owl?
Baby Owl?
Baby Owl. Yeah, Baby Owl.
That's what I'm saying. He's in the CDC. Yeah. Spider speak highly of this dude, and I know he was close with Baby Lane because he was there when Baby Lane got unalived, right?
He was
in the shootout.
He was there, but that shootout was completely unrelated.
But I'm saying somebody in the CDC as a witness and their name is redacted. It ain't got to be Suge. It could possibly be him.
Yeah, but he doesn't have information. He's not a precipient witness to anything related to Tupac getting the Tupac Shakur homicide. Suge Knight is.
Is it hearsay if he say the people involved told him what happened?
Yeah, that's not that. And well, we just
that considered hearsay also.
Yeah, that's considered hearsay. But if this was a federal case, they'll figure out a way to enter that as.
So that's hearsay if this person is on trial and I said that he told me what really happened and not repeat was exactly what he said. That's hearsay.
Yeah, that's hearsay.
Okay.
That person cannot come and testify, but the police can use that information to investigate further. But that wouldn't be a witness in a trial. As soon as you said, well, such and such told me, objection, Your Honor, hearsay. You can't, not in state court. So I don't know. The first person that comes to mind is Suge Knight being that person, but who knows? And then he's got more of an incentive. He's 65, 66 years old, right? His health is not the best. He's serving a 28-year sentence of which there is no reprieve of. There's nothing that's going to reduce that sentence for him in terms of appeals because he took a deal. He's only 10 years, or let's see, 2015. What are we in? He's only 11 years into that 28-year sentence of which he's got to do 85%. I don't know if he's receiving milestones and getting credit, but it's not looking good for Suge in terms of that 28-year sentence he's serving.
Yeah, man. Yeah, those are the only two possibilities I could think of. But I guess it's more so looking like it could possibly be Suge.
And Michael DeRoe, he's LWOP'd as of now. I do think he's got action through the legal system to get that re-looked at, re-examined. But someone can say, I mean, what could he possibly say? I also think there's another person, another witness from Southside named Dirt Rock. He's already informed. He informed on Keefe D's drug case that caused him to have to do that proffer with Greg Kading.
I seen that video, and he was loud and proud with his cooperating.
Yeah,
he didn't care,
and he was wearing an S hat in the interview.
Wow, hey man, I gotta go run that back, man. That dude was like, I think he was talking to a young lady, right?
He was talking to He was talking to a young lady that I had her on your show before. I had her on Rich at Heart with you before.
Don't say SKG.
No. She was on the show through the phone call.
Okay.
She showed up in person.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's how I got that interview from her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, it's getting sick, man.
But that's how Keefe D got in trouble in the first place, through Dirt Rock.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna give a hypothetical, right? So, what if, let's say, Baby Al or Dirt Rock, when they reached back to Compton, they was the ones that did whatever with this car. Could would that be even worth being a witness to?
Absolutely. I see. Well, maybe Dirt Rock, because Dirt Rock and Keefe D were close. So it's got I just
remember they had to get it painted before they returned to rental or something. Remember?
I don't recall exactly. I have a segment about that rental car. I don't remember. That interview's from 2020, 6 years ago. But Suge Knight's release date is October of 2034.
Don't feel that far away.
No, that's not too bad. So it's from 2015. That's 19 years. So that'll be he's like, well, 19 years is pretty good on a 28-year sentence. So he's not doing 85% then.
You know, the percentages went down, man. It be shaky when I be asking about it. Some people say it did it. Some people say it didn't. So he doing 66%.
He is definitely doing
66.
Yeah, because he's going to end up doing 19 years, and he's not. I don't believe he's going up for parole. I think this is his release date. So that's what, 8 more years?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but when you're 61, I mean, it doesn't feel good that you're getting out of prison at 69 years old. 61 sounds a whole lot better, huh?
Well, it's a lot better than the 76-year-old from San Diego getting locked up at that age.
Yeah, because those minimums for that case, the minimum's probably gonna be 5 years.
Man, free that man. Man, he didn't mean it. He was going through some hard times, man.
Yeah. Oh, and let me play a quick clip of Keefe D, because he's in desperation mode right now, man. And he went to the local media.
Mm.
And I'm sure his lawyer was be very careful of what you say and don't say. But this is what Keefe D said in an interview the other day.
Good evening. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis insists in an interview with our 8 News Now investigators that he did not kill Tupac Shakur. His trial, though, is just a week away.
Speaking with our own Vanessa Murphy, Davis blaming the son of former head of security for death row records for the killing in an interview you will only see right here on 8.
If you did not have anything to do with Tupac Shakur's murder, who do you think did?
To me, I think they witnessed Reggie Wright Jr. All he do is lie, is tell stories. He even be on interviews threatening my son, you know what I'm saying? Threatening my family. It's wrong. Even Caden be on them interviews threatening my family. It's wrong, man. It's wrong.
In that 400-page motion filed by the DA's office, one of the points that they are trying to make is that a lot of what you have said is true. So you're sort of your own witness, that you said you went to prison for selling drugs, all of these specifics, your role with the Crips. So they're saying you were accurate, so you might be accurate about the murder.
They're lying. This is a bunch of lies.
You know what else kept coming up in the court documents? Biggie's murder, and how at some point you were a suspect.
Yeah, they took my car and did forensics on it. And that car was never shot out of or nothing like that. And it's wrong because I was under the parking garage when that man got killed. When he got killed, they came running back in there and said, they just killed Biggie. And I was under the parking garage. That stuff happened. They just, to me, the Popos, the police did that stuff. Who expert shots like that, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no who competent like that or watch or in our area shoots like that, you know what I'm saying? You got to be a marksman.
So you had nothing to do with Biggie's murder?
Nothing to do with nobody's murder.
And then a name that kept coming up, and it has come up, and I think I've asked you about this before, Sean Combs.
Yeah.
Diddy, Puffy, whatever. Do you think he had anything to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur?
No, ma'am. I don't think so at all.
What about Biggie's?
I don't think either one. To me, it's the Toronto police is out there in our area. Reggie Wright, all he did was lie at night. Atlanta Anderson took the boy, took his chain. Don't bring your guns. It just, I get a lot of stuff from PIs, private investigators, and all the fingers and evidence point to Reggie Wright Jr. And he brought up my name from day one.
Davis is expected in court on Tuesday for a hearing to discuss some pretrial motions. His murder.
Hey man, that's a lot of talking though. He's ready to throw Reggie Wright under the bus.
I heard another part of this when she asked him did they come with any plea agreements. He said he not willing to take it. The average person lived to be about 74. He's 60 something, so it wouldn't make sense. And
And he's not in the best health either, so he might not even live to what the average. I think the average life expectancy is like 75.
You gotta think though. I mean, Biggie Smalls was a big dude. That's not. You don't gotta be like a super marksman like to hit him. You know what I mean? He not hard to miss.
Yeah, that was not an accurate statement. You had to be a marksman. All you had to do was pull up, be close to the car, which that car was, and just dump into right through the door.
With the size of him, and you just shoot on his side, that's not hard to do. So, and then he he said he don't think that Puffy got anything to do with it, but I believe he tried to get a confession out of Von Zip at some point.
Oh yeah.
So cooperate with the police trying to get a confession out of Von Zip tells me that you felt that Von Zip received the money from Puffy. So she asked you, you think he had any involvement with the Tupac thing or the Biggie thing? That contradicts that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel that way, why you even cooperate with the police to even get wired up on Von Zip and bring up some old stuff?
Well, that's going to be hard to explain in court. And this interview with the lady said regarding the 400-page filing that the prosecution did, it basically, from what she read, they're going to go through his whole book and say, okay, here's chapter 1 is about when he joined the gang. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he really did join the gang. This part is about him going to juvenile hall and committing acts of violence as a minor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have all the evidence and the data when he went to juvenile hall and YA. They're going to go through all the things he wrote in the book that are facts.
But you could go again. It's been known and it's said over and over again he wasn't no violent dude. He just got money.
Yeah, but they're
You know
going
what I'm saying?
to.
So like,
But they're going to point out the facts in his book. Him going to prison. He went to prison.
but right now he's a self-admitted liar. So his lawyers be like, it lines up that he makes up stuff because look what these dudes said that grew up with him, played football with him. They was on the same team. Him and Suge was on the same team, and he might use to his advantage the wife thing with Reggie Wright. Didn't he say he had some dealings with him?
I don't recall that.
I think he might have been trolling with talking about Reggie Wright's wife. I think he might have been trolling, but it sounds like Mob James got a soft spot for Southside, being that his baby mama's from Southside and his daughter. It sounds like he got a soft spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what I was trying to say is that there's a lot of parts of his book that the prosecution can prove that is factual.
Did the sales go up since he been in jail?
I don't know.
It had to.
I don't know.
This is the promo he don't want though. Damn, man.
So it's going to be hard for him to say, oh, this whole chapter about the Tupac homicide, that's all lies. But the rest of the book is true, so.
Okay, well, what if he have his lawyer subpoena an author and when they say when it's based on a true story, how much of the story be fictional? Would that be a good move, you think?
I think that's a good move when it becomes a movie. A lot of the movie becomes fictional off of your true story book, but the book is supposed to be as accurate as possible. That's what the publisher is going to push. But he did, and he has a co-author named Yusef Jah. So I wonder if I believe Yusef Jah did all the writing. I think Keefe D probably sat there and he audio recorded everything to be in the book, and then Yusef Jah just wrote it out and to make it make sense. So he can say that my co-author wrote the majority of the book. Of course, they're going to say, well, didn't your co-author write this based on what you told him to write? He just not going to make stuff up.
I'm trying to think of some ways he could come with some angles, man, because, you know what I mean, trying to be optimistic for the brother, but, he dug a hole.
Well, I think that proffer, there's some good arguments there with that proffer, because Greg Kading, if you remember that clip, he most likely wasn't supposed to leak that audio. That's not common practice where a police officer, when they retire, they're going to leak an audio of a confession.
Actually, it is. They retire and then they tell it all. They go on to do interviews and write books.
Yeah, they do, but he actually dropped the literal
Evidence.
audio. Yeah,
That's evidence.
You could write a book and talk about it.
So is that against the law? Because that's like, you know what I mean? Evidence.
No, I'm sure Greg Kading did his research before he dropped it and made sure he wasn't gonna get in trouble. But that's a cold move. And then you went up to him, like you said, you thought that was a good move. He went up to him to let him know, hey, bro, because he was compromising his safety. So hey, I'm warning you ahead of time. About to drop I'm not only writing a book, I'm actually gonna drop the evidence.
He told him I'm a gangster. I wonder, did he really say that? I ain't tripping. I'm a gangster. Do your thing.
Yeah. So, but there's so many things that you could attack that proffer. Like, why did Greg Kading drop it? Yes, he's writing a book. You can make Greg Kading look like the villain. He's just going for money. He's going for book sales. He's clout chasing. Look, that's a good example, right? He clout chased off of Keefe D's crimes, alleged crimes, right? Because that book, Murder Rap, that book became one of the biggest books about the Tupac homicide. So, would you say he clout chased?
Or needed some money?
I mean, he's got a pension. He's doing well. But who can't use more money, right?
Yeah. It's probably 60-40. I don't know.
So they could make Greg Kading the villain of dropping. Like they could say, what LAPD officer would expose an informant? You're gonna make informants not want to come forward anymore, because all that's gonna happen is they're gonna get exposed by cops like Greg Kading.
Yeah, man. I would love to today interview Greg Kading. I would love to interview him.
Yeah, I've been thinking of doing a follow up with him because that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, I think you should follow up.
Yeah. Well,
and I also got some WACK1OO questions for him.
Oh yeah.
I feel he do a lot of taking up for him.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think that's just a general practice of law enforcement to not really put dudes out there like.
Well, he put this man out there.
I was gonna say the same thing, but you didn't care about Keefe D. Maybe because of the book. He's writing a book. If Greg Kading was writing a book about the Main Street Mafias and their indictment and Shaquille O'Neal and what role he played during the time he was on the Lakers, then maybe we would learn more about WACK1OO. But he decided to write a book about the Tupac Shakur homicide.
Yeah, man. They be Reggie Wright too. Like he know the truth about a lot, man. And I'm talking about as far as Cash Jones, but that's another conversation for another day.
I don't believe Reggie Wright has anything to do with the Tupac Shakur homicide in Vegas back in '96. It is true that some of his security guards were not armed, but there's a lot of explanations for that. When you're going into another city, another state, another jurisdiction, we're gonna keep the guns here. We can't take these guns inside of this building, this establishment, legally or properly. So that's not unusual. Some people think that was the setup. But the way Keefe D tells it, they was posted up at the 662 club, waiting, and he never showed up. Then they hit the strip, or they hit Flamingo, and just by coincidence, they see Tupac talking to a bunch of girls out the car at an intersection, and they just busted a U. It just so happened they saw him in traffic and did their thing. Now, of course, it's all lies according to Keefe D.
What year is this again? 96?
96.
I believe it was September 7th, 1996. I wonder how old was Keefe D in 96?
He was in his 30s.
In his 30s?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's he was in his 30s. He was a well-known dude too. Well-known hustler. And nowhere the guy that he is now. He's ready to throw Reggie Wright under the bus. Although there's not a lot of stuff connecting Reggie Wright to this homicide.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Yeah, they do.
They hate each other because it's vague in my mind, but he spoke on that man's wife, and I could imagine, Reggie Wright. You know what I'm saying?
They've been having a back and forth for quite some time. All right, man. Well, maybe. And this trial is going to go about 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So in about a month or so, we'll get the results. But it's not looking good for Keefe D. I gotta say that. You better have a nice team of lawyers. I don't know what his legal team looks like. I spoke to one of his lawyers once, and he's still trying to bail out. So nobody can come up with $75,000 for Keefe D.
What's the bail though? Like what's like
$750,000.
Nah, I'm saying what percentage?
You just need 10.
10% of 75,000?
No, 10% of 750,000. Remember when Cash Jones was trying to bail him out?
All that is clout.
And put up he said he had 100,000 to bail him out.
He want to attach his name to everything. He had no intentions of bailing that man out, man.
Yeah.
That dude just he got main character syndrome, and he got mental health issues, like for real.
Definitely. I've never seen a guy on this internet lie like him, and I was just talking to somebody about the mental instability that you got to have to be that comfortable with that level of fabrication is definitely a sickness.
At the age of 50, though.
As a 50-year-old.
As a 50-year-old, you on essentially Clubhouse is the party line. At 50, yelling, arguing with people, lying on people, doxing people, calling people jobs, getting them fired, posting their addresses, telling people's spouse what their other spouse did, all at 50.
It's an illness. He's got a sickness. And somebody needs to pray for him. But let the people know where they can tap in with Munchie.B the mayor.
MB_the mayor. That's on Twitter and on Instagram. And then Morals Over Money TV. Like, hype, subscribe, man. Keep me in the algorithm, man. Keep me going.
And make sure if you're listening to this, you could check out the video clips on the Street TV platform on YouTube. And if you prefer just to listen to it while you're at work, while you're driving, while you're in the gym, while you're on the treadmill, you could listen to this on all podcast platforms, especially Spotify, Apple, and iHeart. We out. So nobody can come up with 70.
Telling people's spouse what their other spouse did, all at 50.
It's an illness. He's got a sickness. And somebody needs to pray for him. But
MB_the mayor. That's on Twitter and on